Obviously, we started at the top of the show by telling you that we had received word in Lenawee County, the Adrian courthouse there, that there has been a verdict reached in the Dee Warner murder trial.
We got word that there was a verdict around 4:40, so just about 4 minutes ago. Oh, as you can see right now, they are actually bringing back in Dale into court. This is a live look right now of the courthouse.
Left side of the screen.
You can see Dale sitting down waiting for this verdict. Again, we're only about a few seconds away from having this verdict read from the jury. This is 8 hours after deliberations. We are going to listen to see if the judge is going to comment and wait for this verdict to be read from the jurors.
Yeah, real interesting dynamic that unfolded over the weekend. Well, we're going to let you listen in.
Session, the Honorable Michael O. Sayer presiding. You may be seated.
We understand that they invited the family, got that. We'll let you listen in.
1841-FC, People versus Dale Warner. It's my understanding at this time that the jury does have a verdict. A couple of things to address on the record before we bring the jurors in. First is that we did Friday, I spoke with the attorneys, they agreed that rather than bring the jury back into the courtroom, the court would just read the publicity instruction to them in the jury room, and they did that. We've also had several questions from the jurors. I had discussed those with the attorneys. We agreed on a response, and that was given to them in a response on the note that they had passed to the court. Is that all accurate, Ms. Watts?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Sharp?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. At this point, we will be bringing the jury in to deliver the verdict. But first, I would like to say that the jury has spent more than 5 weeks being selected, listening to testimony, and deliberating on this matter. They have shown a great commitment to our system of justice. They are going to render a verdict, and that is their job. I will not allow them to be subjected to any disturbance. This matter is very important, obviously, to the people of the state of Michigan, to Mr. Warner, and to Ms. Warner's family. Regardless of what that verdict is, I will not tolerate any outbursts, remarks made, or otherwise undignified behavior. If that does occur, the person responsible will be removed from the courtroom, or depending on the severity, taken into custody, and there will be contempt proceedings to address any violation of this order. Everyone must maintain control of their emotions. If you do not, or you do not think you'll be able to, you should take this opportunity to step outside of the courtroom. Because again, I will not subject the jury to any form of harassment. All right, are the people ready to receive the verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense ready to receive the verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
We can make the jury.
Okay, once again, live here in the studio as they bring the jurors back in. Obviously, our cameras are not going to show that. But the one thing I was alluding to before the judge started speaking here, Kaylee, is we had an interesting dynamic play out Friday when one of the jurors had an emergency, did not know if that juror was going to return. The jury has now been seated.
Let's hear this verdict from the jury.
You may be seated.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, would the foreperson of the jury, without telling me what the verdict is, let me know whether in fact you have reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Would you pass that to the bailiff, please? Madam Clerk, would you please read the verdict?
Members of the jury, listen to your verdict as recorded. You do say upon your oaths that you find the defendant, Dale Warner, as to count 1, guilty of second-degree murder. As to count 2, guilty of tampering with evidence. So say you, Mr. Foreperson? I do. So say you, members of the jury.
Would either the people or the defense wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Madam Clerk, would you please poll the jurors?
I will call you by seat number as you are seated in the jury box. If you agree with the verdict, you will say yes. If you disagree with the verdict, you will say no. Seat number 1.
Yes.
Seat number 3.
Yes.
Seat number 4.
Yes.
Seat number 6.
Yes.
Seat number 7.
Yes.
Seat number 8.
Yes.
Seat number 9.
Yes.
Seat number 10.
Yes.
Seat number 12.
Yes.
Seat number 13.
Yes.
Seat number 15.
Yes.
Seat number 16.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you once again for your service in this matter. As I indicated at the outset of the trial, jury service is one of the most important functions that members of a free society are asked to perform. At this point, I will excuse you to return to the jury room. If you wouldn't mind, I'd ask you to wait there for a few minutes, and I have some additional comments I'd like to make in private. You can be seated, thank you. At this point, the court does need to set a sentencing date, and the first opportunity would be May 7th at 8:15 a.m. Does that work for the people?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what time? May 7th at 8:15, you said?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
The 7th and then through the following week do not work for me.
All right, so through the following week,
You're correct.
so that would put us out to May 28th would be the next available opportunity.
That would work.
I'm scheduled to be in a trial in Macomb.
Okay, would that be for the 29th as well?
Yes.
How about June 4th?
Unfortunately, I'll be out of the country.
And when would you be returning?
I could be back for June 18th.
All right, that week does not work with the court schedule, so we'd be looking at June 25th.
We're in trial in Calhoun.
If May 7th works, I can make May 7th work. Does that work
Okay.
for you?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Okay. So May 7th then at 8:15 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that we need to address on the record this afternoon?
No, thank you.
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you all for your time then. The court will be in recess.
Your Honor, may we briefly approach?
You-
Thank you. Okay, great. So we'll wait. Okay, great, thank you.
we're making our eye view through some of the Hardy family there, and I don't know if you could pick that up there at home, but you heard the click of the handcuffs going back on Dale Warner's hands as he is taken away by Lenawee County Sheriff's deputies. The door closes, and obviously it shuts the door on what just transpired. So obviously, let's talk a little bit through what we just heard, what we heard the jury say, what we heard the judge say.
Again, if you are just now joining us, you just heard the verdict for the Dale Warner murder trial. This is about 3.5 weeks of witness testimony, 8 hours of jury deliberations. You are seeing right there some of the family of Dee Warner. Dale Warner found guilty of second-degree murder and also guilty of tampering with evidence. The interesting thing here in Michigan, the difference between first-degree premeditated, if Dale had been found guilty of first-degree premeditated murder, he would face a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole. But since he's been found guilty of second-degree murder, he does still face life in prison, but with the possibility of parole. But it is still going to be about 2 months before we are even at sentencing.
Yeah, you heard them kind of go back and forth on dates that would work, dates that wouldn't work. It'll be interesting. Our Melissa Andrews has been covering this since day one. She will obviously have some interviews done with the Hardy family, the rest of the family that has been outspoken during the course of Dee's disappearance. I'm curious to hear from them. You obviously push for the max as far as the family members were concerned, and I wonder if they will be satisfied with this verdict.
You could see too that I know that I saw Greg Hardy get a little emotional there and the rest of the family hugging afterwards. I mean, for them, yeah, this has been, next month will mark 5 years since Dee first went missing again, like Jeff mentioned. Just the end to a long heartache for this family of Dee Warner.
So I want to read a little bit, and you're going to hear this again and again as we continue to dissect what happened today. And Michigan law differs from Ohio law, and you've heard that from Melissa Andrews again and again as we led up to this point of the verdict being read. But first-degree murder had to be they had to determine that it was planned or premeditated, as you pointed out. Mandatory life without parole, as you pointed out. Highest level of murder charge. What we got was second-degree murder, saying it was not proven by the prosecuting attorneys to be planned in any way, shape, or form. Up to life, judge decides, and still an intentional killing, but they may have seen this as a crime of passion versus something that was premeditated.
And planned, exactly. And I think obviously the defense showed that it wasn't premeditated and that the jury agreed with the defense in that sense. But again, still guilty of second-degree murder and tampering with evidence there. We are still going to wait for sentencing, which is May 7th. That is a Thursday at 8:15 in the morning. We are waiting for sentencing there in Lenawee County.
Tampering with evidence as well. Prosecutors argued once again, as you saw and you probably watched on WTOL 11 Plus as well. Prosecutors said that Dale intentionally placed the body inside of the anhydrous tank, that fertilizer tank, welded or sealed the tank, and attempted to conceal the crime for years. The penalty in the state of Michigan for tampering with evidence, it is considered a felony. It is up to 10 years in prison, and that sentence, we understand, will likely run alongside of the second-degree murder sentence.
You know, we've mentioned that Melissa Andrews has been following this, and she's been doing a great job of updating us on social media. I saw when she had posted that the verdict was in, people said, wow, that was fast. Again, you have to think this is technically only the second day of deliberations for the jury. Last Thursday, they started deliberations. Friday, they had that emergency, and they were called away from the courthouse Friday, and there was no court yesterday. So this is 8 hours of deliberations that the jury came to this verdict.
And we didn't even know if we were going to get to this point, much less today versus the rest of the week. In fact, Jerome Phillips, one of the defense attorneys here in Lucas County, had said to our Melissa Andrews on Friday, or yesterday actually, I'm losing track of days, said that there was a real possibility because you had that emergency with the juror, you had the issue with the 3 alternates who had gone home, had not been instructed to not watch any coverage. They said they had watched coverage on WTOL.
Yep.
They had also talked to their family about their opinions of the case. And we didn't know if there was a possibility today could come out and they say, we've got a mistrial on our hands.
And you know, judges have gone back and forth too, that there has to be an agreement. In a lot of states, there's a law where it's mandatory to have 12 jurors. You cannot move forward with 11. So in Michigan, it's different from what Jerome had said, that everyone has to agree to move forward with an 11-person jury. But thankfully, that juror that had the emergency on Friday came back today and was able to begin deliberations with them around 9:20 this morning.
We're going to take a quick break. We're going to reset. We've got team coverage for you here. We hope to talk to Melissa Andrews, who is at the courthouse. She obviously busy out in the hallways, probably talking to a number of family members. Our Tim Miller is here as well. He will have some coverage for us as we continue to talk about the verdict that is in the Dale Warner murder trial. WTOL 11 News at 5 continues right after this.